in the shop that morning, the following morning and so Greg shared that story with which I posted, which is, it's great because it brings a human element to history rather than history's, dates and facts and buildings and, that kind of thing. It was on Butler Street, I believe, wasn't it? Ontario? Okay. Oh, okay. So I thought of also posting something, encouraging people to send in little vignettes like that they remember, because I think they bring a human element, and we immediately got hits on it. I mean, so yeah. Back to so I guess that is a form of correspondence. That's how people communicate with us through our Facebook page. And Mrs. Claus was also posted this morning, telling people that she's going to be on air this Friday. And again, we got some nice comments. So all's well and good. Reports and business. 7.1. Ralph.
Sorry, shall I start again? No. That's the drone in a combo pack, which provides a case for the drone, extra replacement parts, 2 extra batteries, and I think that's it. The drone is quite a bit improved. It's lighter. Well, it's not lighter. It's quieter. It's capable of handling higher wind speeds. It has a better camera on it. The one on the first model had a 2.7 K image. This one has a 4K image, so the picture quality will be better. I have a list of 3 providers who will sell this to us at all basically the same price. Best Buy, Vistec, and Amazon. However, Best Buy is including for free now a basic pilot ground school training course. I believe that's an online course, which I checked the value of it. It's usually $100. It's theirs. Even they have it on sale now for $66.50. If you wanted an advanced course at the same school, it would be $419.30.
Okay. So you've made the motion to purchase?
I can make the motion. I move that we purchase the... do we want to have any discussion before we...
Yeah, well, you need to have a first and seconder, and then you can open it up to the floor for discussion.
I move that we spend the $750 that we set aside for this purpose at last meeting and purchase the drone immediately.
Are you recommending it from Best Buy because of the added thing?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I would think so.
Okay. Do I have a seconder? Mary? Okay, the floor is open for discussion. One thing I might point out, which actually maybe you want to take over, Catherine, is the course was something you were talking about.
We don't need the course, Catherine. Legally, we don't need the course because the size is older. We talk about this, and we think that because we're doing this as a Canadian council representing municipalities, we need that type of due diligence. And we've had a lot of discussion that we can't do this, we can't do that, but maybe we can do that. I think not only good, but also just good. Have that knowledge and be able to answer the question accurately. Oh,
And that. So
Okay.
I really believe it's in our best interest to have that course, even though legally we don't need it. And Ralph found the Best Buy thing, so that's great. It's $100 savings. But I think we'll benefit from it, which means the community will benefit from it.
I think the other benefit is we should probably have 2 licenses. So in the new year, we could get, I'd need a second person to get a second license. We shouldn't have a piece of equipment like that where we only got one person can operate it. So, which you,
I'm not sure that course produces a license, does it?
That's from Canadian Coastal.
Yeah.
They do have a basic drone pilot's license.
They do?
So if that's the same one, then yes, it would. We'll have to make sure that that produces it.
any other comments? So just reiterate my last thing. I think in the new year we can look at identify somebody as a second operator and get a second license and make sure we got that versatility. But we don't need to action it today because regardless of whether we do it, it's going to come out of our reserves because our budget is all allocated and there's no room to move there. And Linda insists we don't increase our budget, so.
Maybe I can speak on that for a minute. So are you proposing that the $750 come out of the Brighton Digital Archives Reserve?
No, Linda, we, a meeting ago, we gathered up unused money from this year's budget and allocated it for the drone purchase. So the drone purchase will come out of this year's budget, and that, I believe, will cover, except for a few bucks, this year's budget.
Linda, what's your concern?
Well, I haven't actually reviewed your budget, but I know that you had some revenues in your budget as well. And I don't think that you had the opportunity to receive some of those. So you're absolutely sure that your budget's going to come out at zero for 2020 with this drone purchase? Like
Yep.
your net, whatever your net's supposed to be?
As far as I can tell, based on the latest budget report I got and knowing what we spent since then, I'm pretty sure it'll end up with a few bucks left in it. But
Okay.
there was three, I think it was 3 budgets we never touched because of COVID-19. And so we ID'd those monies for the drone.
Well, you can redistribute because your budget is essentially one number. So
Yes,
you can
yeah, right.
redistribute.
Right. So that's what we did. But the what I'm saying about I'm not convinced there's $100 to purchase a second license. So next year that would come out of our reserve instead of touching the budget we submitted to you.
So anytime that you're going to take monies out of your reserve, so next year when you plan on doing that training, you have to have a resolution that
Yes. Right.
requests that council approve a reserve transfer.
Yeah. Okay.
Fletch.
Any other comments?
Who actually licenses a drone operator? Is it the government? Is
Yes,
it the
federal
Department of
government.
Transportation? Okay.
I have one of their licenses. They're good for life. Actually, I have 2 of their licenses. 3. Perfect. Okay, so all in favor of the motion to purchase that drone from Best Buy? We had a seconder. Yeah. Okay, motion is passed. Since Linda's comment about budget, I just realized I left an item out. We got $506.60 in donations from our calendar. So I have a check to be deposited to go into our reserve. But we need a motion for that, right? I can't just hand it to you?
No, if you want to hand it to me, I'm doing a year-end reserve transfer, and I
Okay.
already had $375 that I'm going to recommend transfers to your reserve.
Okay.
So we'll just add that in.
Okay. Can I also hand you Willow's invoice for the budget, pay for the calendar? I just got it yesterday.
You can hand that invoice to me, yes.
Thank you, Linda. Okay. The Santa video project update. Ralph again.
We have we haven't finished this project yet, but we are in the middle of it. Everything's been shot. We shot the mayor, we shot Mrs. Claus, we shot Santa in the barn. We had quite a troop out there, and we got a lot of good footage. And it's coming together right now. Fletch and I we're going to have Mrs. Claus on the internet by midnight Thursday, and then Santa will be up on the 22nd of December.
Right.
So Mrs. Claus is pretty close to finished, and the other ones are all preliminarily assembled, but a lot of tweaking and things to do to it yet.
And I might add that I just talked to Heather Reese at the library, and she's agreed to show the Mrs. Claus video, which is about 1 minute long. She's got 2 kids sessions. I don't know what she calls them. They have book sessions at the municipal hall. Not municipal hall, but the sports center, King Eddie, on the 3rd and 10th of this month. And she's going to show them the Mrs. Claus video, because Mrs. Claus points out where to write to Santa, and if they get it in by a certain date, Santa will write back to them, and that Santa will be coming back to talk to the kids on the 22nd. So Heather's going to show that directly to her classes. If anybody has a contact at Brighton Public School, I would like to talk to them and see if they'll show it to their younger classes. If anybody knows anybody. If not, I'll just phone up, ask for the principal, and see what they do. Would you mind? It's just 1 minute long, Linda, and if they could just show their younger kids. Oh, did I? I'm sorry. Well, yes. Well, you're both wearing glasses, and from this distance, you know. Oh, Mrs. Claus is 2 minutes long on my report, apparently. Okay, because what I can do is I can drop off after Wednesday afternoon, I can drop off a stick so they can plug it into a monitor and show it to the kids. Yes. I know Deanna. I will talk to her. Okay, good idea. All right. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, this is the, we've had 2 trying videos. Mr. Claus was one, and Ralph's going to talk about the other one now.
I wasn't trying.
It was a challenge. That's all.
The vigil went really well. We, between Facebook and YouTube, we had well over 800 views. So for a small town, I think that's pretty good. And they were very pleased with the results. It was even mentioned during the ceremony on the 11th at the park. That was that.
Okay. Thank you, Ralph. 7.3, 2021 action plan. I've been gathering information from that, and I sent you just a point form, items that I remembered we did this year. So if you'd go through it, and if you can't find it, let me know and I'll resend it. But if you go through it, make sure I haven't missed something. And if you have any comments about those events that you want in the action plan is actually 2 parts. One is a review of what we've done this year, which is what I've sent you, and then things that we plan to do next year. So I've got some input from Hyacinth about Brighton I Remember. If any of you have any other items you'd like to see done, obviously data storage will be in that plan. History Open House will be in that because we talked about moving that to the summer. But if you have any other ideas, please let me know. I plan to, what I'd like to do is have it ready for the December, if we have a December 22nd meeting, have it ready for that, and if not, submit it to Tom to pass on. 7.3 is Brighton I Remember videos for next year, and Hyacinth, that's your item. On the front, there's a gray button.
Okay, Joe and I were talking about continuing with this series, and obviously we can't film in people's houses anymore. So if we can just get names of people and either give us their email or their phone numbers or whatever, we can contact them, set up a meeting with them, do the pre-interview, so that when spring comes and we can get outside, we can start doing, in backyards. We've done the backyard one, we've done the barn one, and they've both turned out really well. So that way, when spring comes, we're ready to go, as opposed to starting from scratch.
Hyacinth, is it possible for you to do them in a setting like this? Where
That would be, Ralph, what do you think?
Sure. We could. I mean, there were, like a room like this is very echoey. It sounds like a chamber. That's a bit of a problem, but I mean, if you do it in someplace like the community center, it's really noisy and very echoey in there. I wouldn't recommend that.
What
We
about
could do things at Hilton Hall. We've shot there. It is echoey, but not as bad as the community center is. So yeah, it would be better if the barn was a really good location for sound.
What about the library?
The library is, sure.
I mean, just because of all those books would
Yeah,
Give it some
and you could,
padding.
if you could square off a corner, and you could even do it while the library's active. Yeah.
Is that something you want to do, though, or would
Well,
you
it also
prefer?
depends on the person we're interviewing.
Yeah.
Some of them may not be comfortable leaving their
Right.
safety zone, their little bubble. So we have to check into that as well.
You have to remember that people we're shooting are not used to being videotaped, and they're talking about very personal items. And one of the things is we build them up gradually to it. Joe and Hyacinth go in a week before, and they sit with that person and give them a comfort level. And now when they get to the shoot, they're sitting in a chair in a room that they're very comfortable in, and they're talking to Joe and Hyacinth, who they've already gotten a relationship with. And then the camera crew sort of disappears because they've got this contact. So
Sounds like a good process.
well, it is, and as nice as it would be to shoot them right away, personally, I would like to wait until we can get into their homes. I think it would be easier on the subjects.
It's your call as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
Beth,
But if something else comes up, some other item, we could certainly look at the library and Hilton Hall.
that means we can focus on the database stuff.
There isn't a choice there, Ralph.
Yeah, don't cut your nose off, spite your face. Okay, anything else, Hyacinth? Or any other comments?
No, I'm just thinking, like I said, Joe and I can get the people ready
Yep.
and say it will be in the spring, early summer.
How many do we have right now that we on our list? Do you remember?
No, we don't really have anybody on our list. Beth has given a name, and Mary Tadman has
Okay.
also have a name. But if anyone hears of anybody or talks to anyone, then
Yeah.
we can start getting the names
Okay,
ready for
right.
next year.
Good. 7.5, Beth, you're on regarding data storage update.
Well, Ralph and Catherine and I are looking into this, so we've been in touch and actually had a meeting with Abigail Miller, who's the head of the Northumberland County Archives, because they are looking at a new system, and so we thought we could just tap into that system and become part of that. But we did discover that there were a few issues. One, they are not actually purchasing much storage space. Like they are purchasing 20 gigabytes, and they do not have a TDR. What does that mean? Yeah, it is not going to be a trusted digital repository. You can purchase that. They're not going to, and that's what I was really looking for.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, so anyway, so that all sounded good. They can purchase more gigabyte space, but only up to 60 gigs. And because ours is a digital collection, and once Ralph and Catherine have finished figuring out how much we really have to store at the end of January, then we'll be able to see if that's really beneficial. We won't have an idea of the cost, although they're paying about $15,000 to have it implemented. So Catherine suggested we reach out to Jess Posgate, and she works for Our Digital World, and that is an organization that is really almost all nonprofits, and
they're the host of our website.
and they're the host of our website, and so we're going to discuss options with her as well. So that will be very soon, actually. So I think we want to be careful that we're not going to end up paying a lot of money, and we want to make sure that we have a repository that has enough space that we're not revisiting this issue again and again. So that's about where we are.
Thank you, Beth. Any comments or questions?
Just wanted to follow up in the meetings that we've had. I think we all went into it thinking somebody would say, there you go, there's the package. It looks like this is going to be either 2 parts or custom made. And again, reflecting back to what Beth said, we're looking at bigger dollars than we anticipated as well. We're not anywhere near the end of this yet, but it doesn't look like there's just an off-the-shelf answer to what we need. We're learning that we're fairly unique. No, we are unique in what we're doing, because most people have a physical archive, and the digital archives just simply don't have the volume we do, and a lot of that comes back to the video work. So anyway, we're not. It's going to be a longer process, I think, than we intended, but we're learning lots, and we're learning what isn't out there.
Have you contacted any other digital archives to see what they do?
Not at the moment, but that certainly.
I mean, there are others out there.
Right.
In fact, some of them are really big, like ROM, but has
Right.
digital archives. I wouldn't contact them because they got lots of money, but maybe some of the smaller towns.
I think that I've just started to investigate the Our Digital World, and it looks like there are a lot more options there for that kind of collaboration than I originally thought. I didn't realize it was so big, and I believe it's also well connected with Library and Archives Canada. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Some of the I mean, it was originally developed by the Ontario government. It's got some big players in there.
Yeah.
You know, like ROM and the Ontario Library System, and yeah.
I just felt that if Northumberland was putting money into an archive, that it would be sensible just to tag on with them, because it's all Northumberland County material. But I'm not sure whether they're as far ahead as I would like to be, or I would like to see us to be. So I think, as Catherine said, I think we're in early days, and I hope by the time Ralph has finished figuring out how much space we need that at the end of January, that we'll have an answer, or we'll have a
Yeah.
clearer vision of
Okay.
what we need.
Mary?
Grammy has one through their library. Not overly active, and Rob can talk to this, speak a bit more. Our files are huge. Like when we scan something, we do it. When we scan something, we do it at a very high resolution, so we can manipulate it or enhance it, edit it, improve it. And that's where the uniqueness of our organization comes in. So, and we're also doing original content video, which is a space hog. So,
Also, our photographs are, we don't just have the one high-resolution copy. We always maintain the original. So every photograph translates into at least 2. And if you look at our barn project, every barn photograph we use translates into like 25. So,
And we have decided to base the quantity of the collection with everything in it. Whatever we choose, we're going to follow the RAD guidelines. What's RAD? It's the Regulations for Digital Archiving. That's probably what it's called. So we will do that, but we didn't feel it was necessary to cull the collection at the beginning.
Yeah.
That can come
Right.
later with the more thought.
Yeah, well, I think the RAD is very important because from the first day we were formed 6 years ago, was it?
Unbelievable.
One of the things we wanted to do is make sure we always adhered to accepted archive principles and ways of doing business, because we felt as a group that one day we would have to step aside, and we don't want the group that takes over wonder what kind of mess we left them with.
That was a good decision. And just to more thoroughly answer your question, I did ask Abigail Miller, and we're far and away the most advanced. So advanced that I think that we have some, we can work with the Northumberland County Archives if that's what the direction we chose to go. The other communities are smaller, and they don't have as big a vision, I would say. So it's not that they couldn't, and we could play a role in that.
Most of them are larger than Brighton, except for Frankie and
The archives,
no, I mean the actual.
counties, from municipalities.
I just wondered if maybe you could count.
Would it be worth doing a delegation to the county and telling what you've done so that mayors at least can go back to their particular council and, and if somebody here is willing, or two or whatever, are willing to show a bit of what you do so that, what you guys have done is overwhelming. I'm sure, Linda, you'd agree, and anybody else that has seen part of what you do, they don't even know what the total picture is. But that would help keep the whole of Northumberland County together, for one thing, and that maybe stimulate each one of those, like Coburg, Trent Hills, or whatever. It might get them, if they knew what you people do, then maybe they'd be more interested in learning and getting the history of their area more caught up with the digital.
I think that's a great idea. And I think it would help the Northumberland County Archives.
Yes.
Like Catherine helped me understand, what they have is they have items.
Yeah.
So they're cataloging hats or boots, or I don't know what they're cataloging really, but, they're cataloging items. And that does not require the storage space. This is why we're bringing this to them. Mm-hmm. We're bringing this knowledge already to them because we have this huge digital collection. I think that would be a very strong move for the county to have us all work together.
Which in the end would help to get more storage, and also
True.
everybody then would be more interested in doing what
Right.
you're doing, and therefore the money could all be shared with the county.
Ralph?
Mary, at the last meeting, you suggested that we put together a package for presentation to council. If we did put together that presentation, we could put it together in such a way as that it would be useful in both of those situations.
That'd be perfect.
And I'm sure there are people out there, given the changing demographics in Northumberland County, I'm sure there are people that understand the importance of this and would like to work on it, and probably have the skills to work on it.
Certainly. And
Great idea.
Like Ralph alone has been such a gem, and I wouldn't have even got to know you, Ralph, probably if it wasn't for the History Week. I guess that's when I first met you, and somebody here told me I had to do the fishing thing. Was it one of you guys? Probably you, Catherine. But I sat the whole afternoon and watched everybody's profiles. We didn't have it last year, and when I mention it to people, they don't have a clue that is there on History Week. So, it's just another way of getting it out to the public.
I like it.
Well, the other thing is that people somebody who grew up in Brighton might now live in Port Hope or Coburg, and they may have things to add to our collection. So, taking it on the road county-wide is that can pay off in a lot of ways.
And one of the other things we talked about was that genealogy is the biggest thing on the internet besides pornography. But genealogy...
I'm glad you added that.
People are looking from all over the world. I mean, it's not just us, it's not just the county or the country. So we could really add something to that whole discussion.
Yeah. You just have to look at where we get calendar requests from.
Oh, really?
People who've left Brighton or they got a contact at Brighton. We actually have calendars, not this year, but past ones in Germany and BC, South Africa, all through connections that have some sort of contact in Brighton or once lived here or drove through one day or whatever. So
I just wanted to speak about the calendar. Catherine said to me, you're going to love the calendar. Your relatives are in it. And I didn't know until I looked at the calendar and I saw Phoebe Quick had married this Alfgano that had a store in Brighton. And I said to Anne Thorne, who I've mentioned to you to do her profile, she said, oh yes. She said, when you showed me we'll go to the genealogy, when you showed me your family tree, Mary, Phoebe did marry Alfgano. So there was that. There was the Presqu'île, the hotel. I think there was about 3 things in that calendar that I'm related to.
yeah. We had
And you weren't kidding.
when we published the John Stevens Right Now Remember video, he got a call from a neighbor because they discovered that their fathers were in the same regiment during the war from the video. And these guys have been neighbors for years and friends. Subject never came up. So it's amazing. Moving along. I'm sorry. Oh, okay, yeah. Yes. Yeah, should we defer it then to January and make sure we get that we put together a package and hit the road. This guy's all up. He knows all about hitting the road, so he can be our stage manager. So. Yeah. Well, give the to the municipalities and the county. Yeah. Municipalities are interested. Abigail? Jesse, okay.
I just feel like right now it's very new, so maybe another month. Or do you think there's reason that we should just go ahead?
I think we could put together a really good presentation without that data or without the information and just say, and this is what we're pursuing. But it would be such a small part of it. But just so they know what we're doing. In the beginning, we contacted the librarian at Colborne to see how she did things, and she was quite helpful. But we haven't been back in touch. And I don't think that Alma Calderman or Coburg or Port Hope have a clue that we're doing this. 6, 7? I think we certainly have the goods.
Well, we can certainly pass a motion today saying that we're going to develop this package with this idea, and as we gather more information, we'll finalize it. But it gets it in the minutes, and
Okay.
So do you want to pass a motion?
I'll move that Brighton Digital Archives develops a presentation for all the municipalities in Northumberland County on creating a digital archive.
Okay, any comments or suggestions? So I think you've got a word problem there, don't you? It's not, is it created digital archives or created database? A digital
I think
archive?
that- Yeah,
Okay.
they're probably way far away from that first step.
Yeah, okay.
I guess.
Well, we actually have the beginning of such a package that we've given before, so we can start there. So.
When we were initially looking at this, we also looked at Quinte West, and they have a lot of Brighton images in their digital archive. And I believe, Fletch, you spoke with somebody from the Quinte West archive.
Yeah, and they've also, even the Quinte West Library has a lot of Brighton stuff.
So I wonder, because we are such close neighbors and with everything reaching into Quinte West, if we should also include that, a delegation there.
Well, I kind of think we should strengthen Northumberland County first. I mean, I'm not opposed to sharing the information, but I think there's an ulterior motive in the sense that if we can create this in Northumberland County, then we can go to the county archives and say, look at what we've done. And, you know.
In fact, you might want to contact them because I think it's called Trent Valley Archives. They have a huge digital archives. Maybe they can give us some information.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. But I think it'd be prudent to make contact.
Okay.
Any other comments before we move on? Hearing none, moving on. 7.6, Beth,
Did we
you're up
vote
again.
on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, all in favor. Thank you. Okay, passed. Beth, you're up again, 7.6.
Catherine passed me the Documentary Heritage Community Program application for funding, and this comes under the LAC and under our world. I'm sorry, this is all a bit loose for me. I've just started to look into this more seriously. And so we could apply for funding for specific programs from this group. They have a budget of 1.5 million, but a lot of heavy hitters are applying too. But I thought the deadline is January the 12th, and unfortunately the information session is right now. It's going on right now, but I can follow that up. And I thought that it would be worth us looking at what we need to do that. Now, we might not be able to speak to that today, but I can circulate the types of things they will fund. And like a lot of grants, they don't fund capital expenses, particularly can't build a building, but there's lots of research and gathering information that they will fund. So I think it's worth trying to at least see what this application process is like and seeing if we can get some funding for that.
And you said the deadline was January 12th?
Yep,
Doesn't leave much time.
I can do it. I can do it.
No, I mean, because you have to have a project, right? You have to have a project and you have to have it costed.
Well, I didn't really have one specifically. I guess some of the things that are on the table are what Ralph and Catherine have been doing, which is putting together the collection and merging it and, identifying it, doing the proper records for what they have. Creating metadata. We're definitely following the RAD, and so that means that
Rules for archival description.
that's it. A whole new world of these things. So, yeah, so I mean, we could perhaps put in for somebody to help with that, or maybe for history, the history open house, or maybe for travel to some particular conference, or I mean, I would have to look at what is eligible, but that's essentially more about what it's about. I did have it here, I think.
Because I would
Oh,
think
I have it right here.
I would think you need to identify something for the next meetings so that we can.
I can do that. I
do
don't
that.
think that's a problem. Increase, so this is what they're funding. They want to increase access to an awareness of Canada's local documentary heritage organizations and their holdings. Now, that could fit right into the Northumberland County initiative, outreach initiative. We're not now?
Would the committee consider partnering perhaps with Northumberland County for your data storage, your digital data storage, and if you had the money, in this partnership to enhance what they're going to do for their digital archive,
Right.
and maybe that's something that would be of benefit to you as a group and the county as a whole. Well, you have to present and you have to ask.
I do think that there would, I'm sorry I don't have more information, but I think there might be a problem with working with the county. I think there might be some restrictions on charitable groups, that you work with charitable groups or nonprofit groups, but I'm not really clear, so I will find that out and I can answer that for
But
you.
wouldn't we qualify as a part of the municipality as a charitable license?
But would they?
Yeah.
Are they?
So municipalities are charities by nature. So the county is a municipality, just like Brighton is a municipality.
Oh, well, so then it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing you have to be careful when applying for a grant is don't just apply for something because you want to get out there and get started, because one, it's likely to get turned down, and the next time you apply, they won't take you seriously. So you've got to make sure it's a serious.
Oh, this will be serious,
Proposal.
and I did this for many years in book publishing. That was one of my jobs, was to apply for government grants. So, there is a way to do it, and that's why, otherwise I wouldn't suggest it. So, but of course, this would all have to go through you.
So what are you looking for today? Just
I'm
an
not
agreement in
looking for
principle, or?
anything. I'm just giving you information and perhaps to think about ideas. However, I think to encourage that, what I'll do is I will send everybody a little document saying this is where we would fit in the kind of activities that they're looking to fund, and then maybe I can suggest a few from me, and then we could open it up on
Okay.
email. And should we include Linda and Tom as well in that?
Sure.
And Mary, well, Mary's on the
Yeah.
committee.
Catherine?
One thing you said, Beth, was, and you've read that far more than I did, so
What did I say?
you said about local documentaries. Isn't that what
Yeah, that's
we're
what you're
shooting?
doing.
I'm just wondering if there's
absolutely.
something in there from the video shoots that, even storage of them, transmission of them,
Exactly.
broadcasting them. We have a month to think about it before our next meeting, and then a couple of weeks to put it together. If it would be a shame to pass up on something that speaks so closely to what we're already doing and that can enhance that. So,
And I do take what you're saying, Fletch, seriously about,
Yeah.
you can't be frivolous about this.
That's true,
application.
yeah. It doesn't pay off in the long run. Yeah.
Right. Any questions? Library and Archives Canada. Maybe we should do.
We're getting as many acronyms as the military here. What's
Yeah. I'll do a little acronym list, believe me, well, as you see. I
Okay.
can't remember them.
Any further comment? Okay. Before we go to point 8, I would like to cover off being remiss at actually welcoming Linda to our meeting today.
Welcome.
So welcome. Point 8, in-camera session. Pursuant to the Ontario Municipal Act 2001, as amended by subsection 239, bracket 2, bracket K, a position plan procedure criteria, instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on behalf of the municipality or local board. And this is, the subject matter is user agreements, so we're going to go into camera now. And, okay, and can I have a motion to go in camera? Mary? Seconder? Ralph, any comments? All in favor? Passed. Okay. So give Tom a chance to shut the camera.